When a teacher deals with a complex learning topic, like Shakespeare's Macbeth, it's important to consider all the possible tools and how they can teach different topics within that subject. I'm Kellen Harkins, and with the help of a great team of educators, we're going to look at some very different concepts and how this one location, the Virtual Macbeth in Second Life, can help us explore them. Let's meet our first team member and see what she has to say.
Hi, Kellen. My name is Suzanne Wilson, also known as Uzansay in Second Life. We are standing in the virtual path of temptation of Macbeth. The environment is mesmerizing, full of sound and movement. As you can see, words and phrases are moving left to right and right to left on the floor like they are slithering snakes. A visually stimulating virtual area like this one could be used as the ultimate classroom to teach an English literature lesson. An instructor could definitely channel class attention in this virtual world. For example, learners could actually see how important William Shakespeare's words were. They're so powerful, they actually move. What a teaching moment this could create. After the students are visually stimulated by the movement of words, their brains would be ready for soaking up the knowledge of Shakespeare's great contributions to the English language. Phrases such as "come what may" or "knock knock, who's there" were originated with or popularized by Shakespeare. Shakespeare was responsible for many phrases which have enriched the language, making it more colorful and expressive. The virtual world is dominated by the movement of words, which visually supports the subject matter much better than plainly delivering static information would.
Wow, I had no idea about all of that. That's really neat. Let's go talk to Daryl now and see what he has to add to all this.
Hi, Kellen. I'm Daryl Moore. I'd like to show you how Macbeth has been portrayed in the movies. Though it was written more than 300 years before cinema was invented, there is much about Macbeth that is cinematic, especially its supernatural elements. Over the years, filmmakers have imagined the witches in all sorts of ways. In 1970, Roman Polanski created a very corporal coven, medieval witches very much of the flesh.
Eye of newt, toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog.
Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing.
Nose of Turpin, Tartar's lips, severed in the moon's eclipse.
On the other hand, Orson Welles envisioned a very psychologically driven Macbeth in 1948. His witches exist deep in the mind of the king. We see a madman yelling at the wind.
Archery!
Macbeth, 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 beware Macbeth.
The great Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa created a blend of the two extremes in Throne of Blood, a wizened old woman who may be a spirit.
So many different interpretations to one piece of literature. It's really a tribute to Shakespeare's genius. Let's go see Nicole and see what she has to say.
Hello, Kellen. Welcome to my class. I'm Nicole Basilis, also known as Nikki Bass. I'm standing on the balcony in front of a statue of Macbeth. In this scenario, I have tasked my students with coming up with an alternate ending to the tragic play. This assignment would help my students activate prior knowledge of other Shakespearean tragedies, use their knowledge of story elements, but most importantly, it's an opportunity to express their own creativity. They may come up with all sorts of interesting endings. For example, what if Macbeth had decided to flee the country and spend time on the lam in Denmark with Hamlet? Allowing them to meet in Second Life and perform their scene immerses them in the play. It's a great project-based learning activity. What better way to immerse yourself in Shakespeare than to actually immerse yourself in Shakespeare? Was Shakespeare ahead of his time? Decide for yourself. After all, he once said, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They all have their exits and entrances." But let's correct that final line. And one man in his time plays many parts in Second Life.
While the location we are using is Second Life, the concepts and the learning are real world. Many of the subjects dealt with in here are topics that are covered in classrooms, virtual and otherwise, all over the world. We hope we've delivered some insights on how different materials can be covered. We'd like to thank the creators of this extraordinary piece of educational artwork that is the Virtual Macbeth Sim.